Hey everyone, this is MeshWeaver, and this is the very last project video tour for the NES project. It's been a year. Actually, when did I start this? I can't even remember. I know it was in June, right after E3. It's been just over a year since I started this project, and it's now finally done. This is amazing. This is the last video. Huh. It does really feel weird. It's like something is missing. Like there's something in the back of my mind missing, like that urge to finish it. Wow. Anyways, yeah, I've got a few points I want just to like kind of go over the last few details of the project, how it went. A few a lot of thank yous. I can't even say thank you enough. This is my second recording, and I just kind of went on and on, but yeah, I've got basically a few final notes about how the project went, the final stages, the thank yous to everyone, and actually a few other notes about upcoming projects I might do. And why am I starting on my desktop? Because I wanted to show off my desktop wallpaper. Facepalm fail. Yeah, I do like showing off my desktop wallpapers. This is a Porsche GT2 RS. I think it's the most recent one, actually. Yeah. Anyway, before I babble on about Porsches, let's open up Blender. This is Blender 2.58a. I'm anxiously waiting for 2.59, which should be around soon. Let me actually check. Maybe it's out and I didn't even notice. No. They're actually planning for a release today, but yeah, I've actually got Blender RS open here for a bit later. Why is this still open? Oh, there we go. It was actually already open. So, this is the final file. It's exactly as you see it in the render. Let me just switch this back to textured. And there we go. So, that's the console right there. I actually haven't done a video since I started texturing. Whoops. Let me just zoom out here. So, why is that gray? Oh, because the block is here. There it is. Like, there we go. So that's a light right there. So yeah, that's basically the console. Now, I actually realized I forgot to append the labels on the bottom, but it doesn't really matter for the actual render because it would have actually slowed down the render time, which is actually 45 minutes, which is not bad. Yeah, so I've basically finished texturing everything here, and yeah, it was actually not as bad to texture as I thought. The worst to texture was actually the controller, I believe. I'll be getting to the controller in a minute. But yeah, if I just go into object mode here, or actually, I could actually activate just a wire display. Or no, that actually doesn't work. If I tab into edit mode, for those of you who haven't been following the video tours, this is what the mesh kind of looks like. It is very complex. I probably could have made it a bit cleaner. But yeah, I did learn an awful lot while doing this. I could probably improve on it some more. Some more with s'mores. Yeah, there's quite a bit I could probably improve, such as the topology management. But it wasn't too bad to manage, actually. I was surprised. It was a pain trying to figure out where to place all the creasing edge loops for the subsurf modifier. That one's actually probably a bit too close. That's fine. Yeah, it was a bit of a pain to manage because if you actually look up here, this is only the bottom half, excuse me, of the actual console bodywork, you could say, like on a car. It's 3,626 vertices just for this. The top one has another 2,070 vertices. This one here, another 400 vertices. Another 5,000 vertices here because there's so much little fence that needed to be sharpened up with the subsurf. The controller has an awful lot of vertices. Another 3,000 vertices. That's without the subsurf. On the layer 3, that's the cable. The RF switch, another huge bunch of vertices. I could probably clean it up somehow. I have to look through it again someday if I actually use it for something else. But yeah, that's the cable right there, and the power box, power adapter, which isn't too bad actually, vertex-wise. Fairly simple. Those are actually not supposed to be in wire mode. They're supposed to be in textured. Yeah, so that's actually an awful lot of vertices to manage, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. So, basically I have layer 1 with the console, layer 2 with the cartridge, layer 3 with some cables, layer 4 with some cables, layer 5 with some cable ends, layer alternate 1 with the controller and cable, the controller socket, and layer 2, which is actually just that small box, because I was planning on doing some compositing, but it just looked stupid, so I kind of let it drop. And layer 6, which is the plane. Now, about layer 6, just a quick note here. For those of you wondering about that lighting, which in my opinion does look fairly realistic. I don't want to brag or anything, but honestly, it does look fairly realistic if I just zoom in here. I mean, that's not bad for the Blender internal render engine, especially the cartridge and the console. It does look kind of real and 3D at the same time, which is nice. You kind of get that sense that it is real, but it's not. So it kind of switches between the two, which I find interesting. Other people might call it the uncanny valley, I think. I can't remember what exactly the uncanny valley is. Having trouble with talking. Yeah, but actually the lighting is actually very, very simple. You have basically what's called a spot here, which actually should be called an area, but I actually used a spot at first, then switched to a sun lamp, then switched to an area, and the area lamp was by far the best. And the other two fill lights, which basically fill in as warm and cold, are actually just point lamps. That's it, with no specularity. That's it. And with some ambient occlusion and some environment lighting. That's it, right there. So that was very, very cool. I didn't have to fight with the lighting. I just love ambient occlusion and environment lighting. They're just awesome. They're awesome sauce. Awesome sauce maybe tastes like ketchup, by the way. Random fact is random. So yeah, that's basically just the lighting. That's it. With a standard studio render black backdrop, which I learned from blendercookie.com, who are also awesome sauce, but they do not taste like ketchup. Or maybe they do. But yeah, that's basically it. I was really surprised, and I was really, really pleased that I didn't have to fight with the lighting that much. It basically took 30 minutes total. That's counting the numerous renders like at 25% scale just to see if the lighting worked. Sometimes I've cropped rendering. It was actually quite a smooth process, to be honest. Much smoother than the actual modeling, bizarrely. Lighting, they say, I've read that lighting is 50% of the final scene. That's how important it is. And I got it done in like 30 minutes, and the actual modeling was over 100 hours, I think. Yeah, it's over 100 hours, definitely. I am still a bit slow, but yeah. So yeah, that was really, really cool. The materials, I did have to switch a bit. I had to tweak them to get them just right. These cables here, I actually had to create a new material for them because for some reason I couldn't find the actual controller cable material. But everything else went really, really smoothly. The texturing was a bit of a pain, to be honest, especially on the controller, but it wasn't too bad. Went fairly smoothly considering I know almost nothing of UV unwrapping. Basically unwrapped flat planes. Like if I go into edit mode here for the controller, if I zoom in, if I go into edit mode here, I basically only unwrapped this here. So that's basically the only unwrapping I did on the controller, as well as on the bottom there. That little plane right there. Actually, yeah, it's right there. So yeah, that's basically the only unwrapping I did, and it went fairly well. I did have to completely reconstruct the UV map for here. You might have actually seen that in the WIP thread, work in progress. I had to go. Where is it? I had a few notes by Quantum and not Quantum, it's Quantum. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that. Quantum. I kind of extended a bit. A few notes by Cram and Quantum that the colors were maybe too much extreme, like the white was pure white and black was pure black. That could have caused problems, so I did have to reconstruct it, as well as the actual mesh not actually corresponding to the UV map, which was actually kind of weird. But yeah, I did have to rebuild that from scratch. That's another point I actually had to make. The over 50% of the textures I used in this project were created from scratch. Now, most of those are normal maps and decals for the console and the controller and the RF switch and the power supply plug and the cartridge. The others were, I have one texture in the world, or had one texture in the world, which I actually didn't use, so forget that. The others were basically snapshots and pictures of the actual console that I've basically edited in GIMP to kind of bring out the contrast and make them clean. Labels for underneath here and on the side here, which I actually rebuilt from scratch. For the cartridge, I actually used since I don't actually have this cartridge, yes, I know, I'm making a Zelda tribute without actually ever having the original cartridge. That's a big problem for me. I have to get that cartridge. I played it on GameCube, played it on PC a long time ago. It was probably an illegal version. I don't remember. It was like by Armageddon Games or something, and it tended to glitch. But yeah, I do have to get that cartridge. And the actual UV map, which is not working for some reason, should work. And yes, cartridge Zelda. There it is. Okay, so it's still in there. This cartridge was actually from a image I found on Google of the cartridge, and I really modified it, like to the point it wasn't even resembling the original image, because the original image was kind of banged up. I have to reconstruct most of the label. GIMP is awesome. But yeah, that's basically it. It was an amazing project, to be honest. It was a real pain. It was frustrating. It was lengthy like you wouldn't imagine, and I kept putting it off and working at it bits at a time. It's been 14 months, for crying out loud. It's been 14 months since I started this project. But it is the single most complex project I've ever undertaken, and also the most fun. I am guessing I will have fun modeling cars, which will be next. I'm going to take a break from these objects and going to be modeling some cars. But yeah, this has been the most fun I've had modeling. It's been a real pain trying to get the topology working and having to reconstruct everything like 2 or 3 times, but it was really, really fun. I love modeling. Hence my name, MeshWeaver. That's not my real name, it's my actual online name. I will actually be using my real name sometime in the future, probably before the end of the year. We'll be switching to using my real name on Blender Artists, though not on DeviantArt, because I will be setting up something special. That's actually coming up next in the video, or almost next. The very last thing, whoops, actually went to the wrong place. One of the last things I want to go over, there's 3 more points I want to make. So the second, I've gone over the last few development details of the project. The second thing I want to go over is actually the TV set. Now you might remember I was working on this back in December and early this year, and I actually started to create the textures for it roughly a month ago. But it was the television was actually really a pain to model because it's actually, I really wanted it to look like a real TV because I actually have it right here. It's not my TV, it's actually an old TV of my family's. It's an old 13-inch Emerson. It's like from 20 years ago and it still works perfect. But I really wanted it to be precise. And the textures, they were turning out pretty okay, but the day before yesterday, I think, I really got tired of dealing with it. I couldn't take it anymore, so the TV's gone. It's still in my folder, don't worry. It might be making an appearance in a new render of the console. Maybe someday in the future I might give it a scene or something like a shelf type thing with the TV on it and the console and an image of the first Zelda game on the screen, or maybe the second one with some lighting and some drawers and stuff. Maybe make it a bit more realistic. But I just couldn't take it anymore. I just wanted to finish this project really badly because I want to be able to move on. It's been 14 months, like just over a year, and to me that's enough time spent on this project. It's been an amazing project, but yeah, it's time to kind of move on to new stuff, try new things, maybe some organic modeling. Kind of dreading that one, to be honest. Want to model some cars like I mentioned earlier. Ever since I've been watching Top Gear while working, it's been getting more and more. I've become a bit of a car fan. Yeah, I just want to be able to move on and try some new stuff. So yeah, the TV set is still in my folder, so it might be making an appearance sometime in the future. Now that brings me to my third point, which again concerns both the console and the TV. Now, if you're actually on DeviantArt and have been watching my stuff, if I go into the gallery here, go back, right there, website preview. Now this is actually what I want to talk about. The television set and the console will be making an appearance either in the free downloads or the eShop or both of my upcoming website. Now that does make quite a few accounts everywhere, like Blender Artist, Vimeo, YouTube, Flickr, Blogspot, DeviantArt, Twitter, TwitPic, which is actually part of Twitter. But yeah, my website will be like the ultimate place where to go to find my stuff and some new tutorials, some really better tutorials, to be honest. I'm really working a lot harder to make them good, like actually good. I have gotten some good comments like on the 16 tools and the new Blender logo updated one, but it's just not enough. I'm a big fan of Blender Cookie and of Blender Guru. Jonathan Williamson and Andrew Price, they're my two they're the two Blender artists I look up to. I want to get like where they are basically. But yeah, they make some really good tutorials, and I don't know, I just think I should make my tutorials better. Like to be more in depth, maybe have some more resources, more links. Just make them good. So yeah, that's actually my website. It's gonna a lot of referencing to other websites, other Blender heads. We've got some free downloads, some shops. Yeah, that's basically it for now. It's still very much in development, hoping to get it up before the end of the year. But yeah, the NES set, actually the entire set, will be on the site. Now, whether I'm going to have it in the free downloads for free, which would be actually kind of amazing because it is quite a huge thing. Not something you would normally give out for free, I think. But I might have a free version, might have an eShop version, I don't know yet. I am going to be working on that in the next few months. That's going to be one of my projects, finishing up this website. But yeah, that's basically it for the advertising. I'm done with the advertising. So the very last point I want to make, and this is basically the biggest point I have come to, and if I just go back, now there might not actually be that many people posting on here or on DeviantArt. But yeah, I just want to say huge, like immense thank you to everyone who's either just commented on DeviantArt or on Blender Artists or on my blog or even just watched without actually saying anything. Just thank you so much because it's been an amazing process. It really has. Just everyone, like all your support and encouragement and enthusiasm for the NES console. It's been amazing. Seriously, I actually don't even know how to say it without repeating the same words over and over again. It's yeah, you see, I'm lost for words. It was that amazing. It just like sometimes just completely lose momentum, completely lose motivation to even continue working on it. And then I would have that one reply to the thread that would just get me going again. It was just like it was that I wouldn't have finished, honestly. I don't think I would have finished this project if it wasn't for all of your support and enthusiasm. It's been amazing. Seriously, thank you. Thank you just sounds so stupid. It's not enough. It's just thank you to everyone, including my family, my friends on Blender Artists and on DeviantArt, and just everyone who's been watching or commenting. Thank you so much. It's been amazing. It's it's been the toughest project in my 3 years of Blender heading or Blender blending of being a Blender head. There we go. My 3 years of being a Blender head, and it's been the most fun and the most amazing. Yeah, I should probably cut it off now before I babble on with too many thank yous. Like I'm gonna repeat myself. I actually am starting to repeat myself already. So yeah, I think that means I should cut it off now. But yeah, there it is actually with Inferno. Oh, that's new. You can actually see who's actually online just by hovering your mouse over them. That's cool. Yeah, I've spent quite a while away from Blender Artists, but yeah, it's just been amazing. And thank you, everyone. Yeah, it's been amazing. But yeah, it's been seriously awesome working on this project, and I'm actually really sad that it's done. It's like it's gonna be missing something, like that thing at a thing at the back of my head saying you've got an NES project waiting for you to finish it. It's like it was so dragged on. I thought it would never finish. It's like that impression I got. And this afternoon I finished it off, and I just felt weird. I'm gonna need some water after this. Throat's getting dry. But yeah, I'm just gonna cut it off now because this is going on for way too long. So this was the very last video tour of the Nintendo Entertainment System project. So again, thank you very much to everyone, and I'll see you in my next project if you watch that project. Yeah, so I'm gonna cut off now. So good night and thank you.